Well, good morning. I am the Reverend Dr. William L. Johnson III. I am a chaplain here at Christian Hospital Northeast, and welcome to our morning meditation. As often as we share these messages, we hope that you are inspired and encouraged. We are aware that life sometimes comes with ups and downs, almost as if you're on a roller coaster. One day you're climbing to the heights, and the next day you're on your way downhill, and so that it can be really rough. And so every now and then it's good to hold on to something that will encourage you, inspire you, and to hold you together so that you can share that inspiration as community and as family. And that's what we try to do here with these messages. Well, this morning's meditation is entitled Seeing Past the Moment. Seeing Past the Moment. I was so excited to share this message this morning because I thought it spoke to my heart in a different kind of way. Because I'm aware that there are some moments that loom so large, that are so captivating, so powerful, that they demand our full attention. They don't really give us room to wiggle away or to be distracted or not to pay attention. It's almost as if they hold the air we breathe, the beating of our heart, the imaginations of our minds. These moments captivate us, like moments in which we are giving birth or sharing the birth of a child coming into the world, or the moment in which we are leading up to graduation, or the moment in which someone we love is very sick, or the moment we get the diagnosis that we are sicker than we thought, maybe perhaps some disease, some challenge that we have to face. And the more we think of those things, the more those moments, those existential, ontological moments, those are big words, only meaning those things that captivate us right now, that have meaning for our lives. Those moments are so powerful that they demand our full attention. The only problem with having moments so large that they tend to do just what I said, to take the air out of the room, to block the way for us to see anything but them. But those moments, until we get over them or get by them, we can't think about another thing. We can't imagine life without dealing with those moments. And sometimes they can even take us to a place called depression. Yes, moments have a way of doing that, like the loss of a loved one, or the imagination that we would have to live without some of the things that we've been doing our whole life, like working in a career or on our jobs or whatever it may be. But it's important, my friends, to see past the moment. I grew up in a traditional African American church, and uh, in my childhood, I would hear some of the people who were octogenarians. They were 80 plus years old, and they would sing these songs and offer these words of wisdom. And they would simply say, I'm so glad trouble don't last always. Now, for most of my life, I didn't really know what that was. My early life, I didn't know what that meant. I just thought it was catchy, and it had some wisdom to it, but I hadn't lived it. But until you find yourself in a moment that seems like it lasts for an eternity, and that you wish you could turn the page on it, or you wish you could get by it, or you wish you could wake up and just feel differently, or you wish that you can move to the place where you want to go, or you're waiting for the career opportunity of your lifetime, and it still leaves you in the waiting place, like Dr. Seuss reminds us. Sometimes those moments can drag on, but we have to be mindful of the fact that those moments, like trouble, don't last always. And after winter must come spring, and after spring, summer, and after summer, fall. Because we are in this cycle of movement, we have to be prepared to adapt to life after the moment. I had a dog. I loved him, and he loved us. He's family and will always be family. He died some years ago, but his name was Moses. And we were fortunate to have him. We rescued him, and we brought him home. And my daughter decided to name him some biblical name she wanted to name him, and she named him Moses. And so from there on in, he took on our last name, and he became Mojo. The only thing about Moses reminded us every year that his undercoat would grow under his outer coat, and he'd shed. He was a shepherd beagle mix, and he would shed all over the house. And after thinking about it, frustrating and cleaning up hair and all these other things, it reminded us that sometimes those things that protected us a season ago need to be shed in the new season we're in. And some of us are holding on to winter coats or last year's fashions or 3 years ago, the problems that we had, or the hurt that we experienced when we were children, or the wounded heart that we had when we were in high school, or the dreams or the moments that were good and wonderful, but we don't want to let them go. And it's important for us to learn how to see past the moment because shedding is a part of life. It's important to do that. I'm not much into reptiles, but I have learned a little bit from snakes as well. They shed their skin and move into their new skin for the new day and whatever it will bring for their lives. And so must we. We have the responsibility to see past the moment that the old skin doesn't always fit us. And those things in which we had learned and practiced and committed ourselves to, although very valuable, and they teach us things in memory, are not necessarily appropriate for our now moment. And seeing past the moment that we're in means that it's okay to value and to venerate the lessons learned that we had along the way. But it's also important that we see past the moment, past the problems, past the challenges, past the heartbreak, past the difficulty, past the disappointment to see what is going to happen next. For many of us, we remember what spring brought. And as we graduated from high school and some of us from college or whatever it is that we have done in our lives, we've discovered that life is filled with transitions. Like those old people used to sing, life is filled with swift transitions. And so we have to build our hopes on something more solid than what the moment brings. This is why it's important to have a relationship with our Creator or whatever it is that gives us meaning. Because in those moments when life is transient and moving around, it is important for us to see past the moment we're in to see something that will last much longer than that. Our friendships last much longer than the moments if we let them. Our career path means that we may have a job, but we may have a career, and we may have something that is our vocation, that which speaks as in the Latin, a voice from within, that which calls us to what it is we're called to do, lasts beyond the moments we're in. So I wanted to share that with you today and encourage you to see past moments. Because when you see past the moment, you learn how to adapt. Mark Nepo talks about his father taking he and his brother out sailing on a boat that he had created and made. And they enjoyed sailing, but they enjoyed it because they loved being with their dad. But while they were in the ocean and out on the water, they would often find themselves kind of tossed about until they were almost really seasick. And so the only way to handle being seasick is to not look at the waves and things around you, but look further than the waves and look toward the horizon. And somehow looking toward the horizon did not change the jutting of the boat or the movement of the water or being tossed about, but it gave you a focus to remind you that what it is you're going through you can see beyond it and get to where you need to be. That's what I want to share with you today. Look for the horizons. And if you are swallowed up by a moment that seems larger than life, be encouraged. The horizon is coming. You can see the shore from a distance, and you'll know that you'll make it because you can visualize getting there. It makes the journey less of a overwhelming experience. That's what I want to say. And it makes it palatable. It makes it tolerable. If you know that you're going through hell, yes, I said it, it's good to know that you're going through there and not going to stay. I can deal with a little bit of that if I know that I'm going to come out on the other side. And I want to encourage you and let you know you'll come out on the other side. It may be rough right now, but see past the moment and discover that you're bigger and your creator is bigger than the moments you're experiencing right now, no matter what they are. Thank you for your time. I want you to know that you are loved, you're appreciated, and you're irreplaceable. And as often as we share these messages, they're for you, because we know and we're aware that however life comes at you, you need something to encourage you along the way. Share this with a friend, share these messages of encouragement, and I hope that you give us feedback to let us know how we're doing. Thanks so much. Blessings to you, and have a great week.